More than any other animal, bears can present some interesting shot angles. They can be sitting down, they can be laying down, they can be standing quartering, or they can turn their bodies in ways that most other animals cannot do. And particularly for bow hunters, this presents some challenges. But the nice thing about hunting over bait is that you're going to have time to wait for the right shot. And I'm going to tell you what the right shot is. So let's dive right into it. First of all, keep in mind that, as I've said in previous videos, we really want to get an exit wound and a low exit wound to get a good blood trail from a bear. With a heavy layer of thick fur and fat, it takes an exit wound to get a good blood trail. And you may kill a bear that's very, very difficult to find, or you may not find him at all if you don't have a good blood trail, because bear hunting typically takes place in very thick cover, and bears can be hard to recover. They don't typically go that far, but they can be hard to find. So when you're hunting over bait, the first thing that happens usually is a bear comes in, and he can be pretty nervous at first. He can be real skittish and kind of tense, and bears will never duck like a deer does. Like, you've all seen the videos where the deer will crouch down to load their muscles, and at the shot, then the arrow goes right over their back or hits high or whatever. Bears will not do that. But just give the bear a little bit of time to relax and wait for the right shot. Now, I've really screwed this up at times, and I can show you a video here of a bear that I rushed the shot and I hit him way far back. I didn't hit where I aimed, for starters. I just made a bad shot on this bear. But fortunately, the broadhead penetrated the diaphragm and got into one lung, and that bear we found the next morning, he only went about 100 yards. I've also shot bears that seemed like they were a great shot, like this 500-pounder right here that I shot when he was up on the barrel, and I got a slightly quartering away shot on him, and this arrow actually penetrated both lungs and came out kind of in the armpit on the opposite side. It even nicked the heart. But a lot of times bears just don't run until they die, like whitetails or many other ungulates do. A lot of times, especially big bears, they'll just remove themselves from the situation and then start walking away. That's what this bear did, and it only went about 25 yards until it had a lot of cover between it and the place where it was shot, and then it walked, and it walked for about a quarter of a mile, and we were really fortunate to find it the next day. Another situation you'll have is I've shot a couple bears that were laying down, and I highly recommend against this. This particular bear right here was lying down, and we did find this bear, but I recommend against shooting a bear that's lying down, because the vitals are compressed and you have a lot less margin for error. Also, quartering away shots. I used to advocate for quartering away shots, and now that I've shot over 40 bears, I really believe you should just wait for a perfect broadside shot. And if you're 15 to 18 feet high in a stand and you're about 15 to 18 yards away, you're going to get the right angle so you can get both lungs, and you're going to get a pass through with a low exit wound that's going to leave you a good blood trail. The problem with the quartering away shots is you got a lot more bear to go through. You have a lot less chance that your arrow is going to completely pass through the bear. So another situation you might run into is where the bear is kind of turned towards you, and they can kind of almost make their body into like a C shape where their butt and their head are towards you and they're kind of in a curve. That's another situation. Or they can be curved away. Those are situations you should try to avoid as well, because once again, you're compressing those vitals. I've run into several situations where the bear will see you draw your bow and start to leave the area. Fortunately, most of the time, not always, but most of the time they will pause and look back if they're not overly spooked by you drawing. If they don't see a lot of movement or hear something that just really spooks them, they're going to pause. Many times they'll just stop before they completely leave the area and look back, and they might give you a shot opportunity there. So if they stop broadside there, that's another good opportunity to take a shot. At this point, in my career, after having shot 40 some bears, as I said, I'm going to try to be as patient as I can and analyze the situation. If this is a bear that I'm going to shoot, especially if it's a really big bear, I'm going to really wait for a broadside shot, perfectly, as close to perfectly broadside as I think I'm going to get. And if your bait is set up in such a way that the bear is going to be turning broadside at some point, and you're quiet and you're still, you're probably going to get that broadside shot. So be patient and get the shot you want and recover your bear quickly and easily. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you on the next video.